So wonderful. Welcome, my dear friends. Namaste once again. आज का हमने जो टॉपिक चुना है फ्रेंड्स डेथ के ऊपर, हमने लास्ट संघा में भी बात की थी एंड अ लॉट ऑफ us were really interested in this topic. So we decided that in today's Sangaha also we'll take the same topic. Bhagwan Buddha, whenever any disciples would come, whenever people would come to him to become disciples, he would send them for a few days to the burning ghats. कहते शमशान जाओ, थोड़े टाइम उधर बिताओ. Just seeing people coming there, the dead bodies being burnt, just witnessing all of that was an important part of the journey. There is so much that actually death teaches us. What he was doing is something that naturally has happened to a lot of masters. We have heard about Ramana Maharshi. When he was a child, उनके घर में किसी की डेथ हो गई एंड ऑब्वियसली जैसे बच्चों को बताते नहीं है, he couldn't understand क्या हो रहा है. And there was so much happening in the house. What he saw was that this body was not moving, this person was not moving, and nobody was really answering to him. And he said, what's happening? So what he did was that he went on the higher floor, on the first floor, where nobody else was there, and he just lied down there. He became just like the body, which was not able to move, which was just still. And just doing that, he was trying to see what's really happened to the person. But when he tried to do that, he really got into samadhi. He experienced that he is more than the body. Death has been an important teacher. Even Osho talks about how when his Nanaji died, that whole journey, that whole experience really shifted to him. And after that, he says that whenever he could miss anything in the village, but kabhi kisi ki agar death ho jati thi, he would always be part of the procession. And he said that just actually being part of that whole procession, he learned a lot also about human nature. He observed that as the people would go there, they would be standing at the burning ghats. They would be wanting to talk about everything else, but not about death. They wanted to actually avoid the topic of death. And he said he observed that, people live as if they are never going to die. When we talk about death also, we talk about it, oh, kitna bura hua kisi ke saath. As if it's not going to happen, as if there's anything surprising about it. We all know that एक बार birth हुआ है तो death तो होनी ही है. That's the only sure thing that's going to happen. Nothing else is sure. But definitely this is the sure thing. But people want to not talk about it. Death has been a taboo topic. And even when old people, when they start talking about death, we kind of, get so worried and we say, no, why should we talk about it? Right? So this is definitely one of those topics that we need to pay attention to. We can't be living in denial. Yes, there are fears that we may have, fears of our own death, but death is really a wise teacher. The shamans say that death is like that shadow, which is right there behind your shoulder. And it can come anytime. It actually, if you take it as the wise teacher, why was Buddha sending his disciples to the burning ghats? So that we start seeing whatever time that we have here, we start using it wisely. We start living well. One of the things that happens so many times, we feel if we pay attention to death, our fears are there. We feel, oh, the death urge is there, we feel helpless and we feel we have to just wait till we die one day. That's really not the way of living. All the masters who've actually contemplated on death, who've seen death, they have lived fully. If you see the masters, if you see Osho's life, he lived fully. He was not scared. He was not, so many things happened, but he was not really scared of facing them. So death is a wonderful, wonderful teacher, and we all need to really pay attention to what is our fear. Why is it that if we don't talk about it, why is it that we don't talk about it? So let us all take about half a minute. Let us all contemplate what is our fear, and we can put it in the chat. Sometimes it is just that we've never paid attention to its uncertainty, it's an unknown area. What is it that we are really scared of? So it could be our death, it could be death of our loved ones. Let us ask ourselves, what am I scared? And if I get an answer, then we can ask further, so what? What will happen? So we go to the worst fear, the deepest fears. Divya says the fear of physical pain. Wonderful. So the process of death. Misery before death. Yes, Radhika, you've raised your hand. Would you like to speak? Work will be left half done. That's wonderful, Sandhya ji. Radhika, would you like to unmute and share? Fear of missing out the loved one is more worry trigger than self-absence. Radhika, would you like to speak? Fear of darkness, leaving our loved, near and dear ones. Sandhya ji's fear is no one will remember. Fear of missing out the loved one is more worry trigger than self-absence. Radhika, you've raised your hand. Would you like to speak up?
Yeah, hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear
Hi.
you, Radhika.
Yeah, the fear of loneliness.
Fear of loneliness. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Fear of not knowing what happens after death. Yes, unknown. Friends, we shall not see this wonderful world again. That's wonderful, Mohanji. So, a lot of the work, friends, that we do meditation and when we do a past life session, right? If we really contemplate on it, a lot of the fears will really go away from that. When we start seeing ourselves separate from the body, that we are not really experiencing, yes, physically we can experience things here, but we are still going to be there. The fears are definitely the commonest fears are of unknown. We all, as individuals, we like to be in known areas and we all have fear of unknown. And the other fear is of being separate, of not being connected, that we will not be connected with our loved ones. Right? So that is one of the commonest fears. And then, of course, as fear of how to life without the loved one, how to live without the loved one. Yes. So if we are left behind, the fear of darkness. So a lot of the fears are individual fears, and we need to really look deeper into that. We really need to face them. So when I'm seeing Sandhyaji's fears, both the fears, right? If she actually looks into it, because I know Sandhyaji for a little time, if she actually now confronts these fears, she will realize how this is actually affecting her life right now. Sandhyaji, work left half done and not being known. If you contemplate deeper, you'll be able to see in your work area how actually this fear is affecting you, how actually
I think ma'am's internet has slowed down. I'll just check. Ma'am, you're there?
I'm
Friends, I'll
there.
just.
I'm
Your
there.
video is frozen actually.
Hear me?
Yes, but your video is frozen. I think it's the
Can you
internet.
videos?
It's fine now. But
Yes, thank you. I'm back.
Actually, we couldn't hear anything after you said, think
Yes.
about it, how it is affecting you in the world.
Yes. So our fears are corrupting our life. Sandhya ji, if may I take your example a little bit? Yeah. So Sandhya ji has worked with me a little bit, and uh, her fear, like when she said, "I will not be known," she's had this pattern where actually she has left her work before she goes to the top. When she actually comes to a place where she can really fully explore, she quits that place, right, Sandhya ji? So, in a sense, what's happening is you're actually self sabotaging. The fears that are there are corrupting our lives. The fear of darkness. How will I live without the loved one? Now, what we could be doing is either we could be living a codependent life, or we could be actually fighting the other because we feel so angry that we feel dependent on the other. When we confront our fears, when we face our fears, that is when we can actually live fully, and we can live with our loved ones a fulfilling life, really enjoying whatever time that we have with them. The fear of not being connected is actually the deepest fear, and that is something that we need to work on. How many of us here have lost people, lost near and dear ones, and then realize that we've actually not lost the connection? That we can feel their presence sometimes in the dreams, we can get their guidance. Yes, Purti is sharing that. Yes, Sandhya ji has felt it, Divya has felt it. Yes. So we need to actually look for proof in our life. We will all be able to see that we are really never separated. We are going to be connected. My first session that I did, my past life session that I went for, this was back in 2005 or 6. That's when I actually felt, I used to feel that my master, that time, he was no longer in the body. And I used to feel like this missing feeling. And when I could actually in the session feel on the other side the loved ones and the masters, it felt like actually there is no separation. So, this kind of an experience, even one such experience, when we start paying attention to, that is what will really start enriching us, so that we can start living our each and every day a fulfilling one, a full life. Okay. So, any questions that we have right now? And what we will be doing is we will be doing a meditation. This meditation was given by Osho on death, where he would actually make people visualize that you are in a river and then you die while you're swimming or floating, and really what's happening at your own death. So we confront our own fear of our death, we confront our fear of separation, and we also really see death as the wise teacher. We see what is it that our thoughts are when we are dead, when we are leaving. Because whatever will be there, the last moments, that is what is really important. We can start leaving a lot of stuff that may not be so important. We may not really spend a lot of time then fighting, trying to prove our point. So many times, so many things that we do, we may realize that they are not important when we really start contemplating on death. So, any questions, any sharings, any insights that have come?
May I say something?
Absolutely.
Actually, this idea that there are no others is a tough thing to imagine. I mean, that's a famous Ramana Maharshi thing, right? It's genuinely very tough. How do I treat the others? There are no others. But okay, I mean, frankly enough, I agree it is an ego problem or that identification problem and all that. But how to get out of that? Did I make sense in my question? That's where I'm at.
Yes. So when Raman Maharshi is saying it, he is speaking from a sense of awareness, a sense of consciousness, where he's able to see it, right? It's like if we can imagine there's a building of, when we see things from the ground floor, it's different. When we see things from the first floor, the view will be different. When you will see things from the fifth floor, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to see much more, and you're able to see a completely different picture. Now, when he's saying it, right, that is the truth that he's seeing, because his level of
He's at
awareness.
that level. Yeah.
Yes, right. So when we are understanding that, right, what is it that we need to do is definitely we need to keep our awareness up. We need to have our intentions so that we can also experience what he has experienced, right? So one eye there, one eye not treating the other in a way that it doesn't matter how I treat them. When Jesus says treats the other the way you would like to be treated, for example, right? So one awareness always have knowing that the other is also just like me. I should be with the other person just like I would like others to be with me. So having that awareness. And then right now, of course, in the physical sense, we also need to have the healthy boundaries. So if sometimes what happens is when we are trying to be that way and we are not really understanding at the moment, we could be imagining how it would be from the seventh floor, but the way we may imagine would not be how it is there, right? It's very effortless for them. That's the way it is for them. But if we really create a lot of stress for ourselves trying to be there, that may not necessarily be the healthiest thing. So acknowledging how we are feeling right now, having a healthy sense of boundaries, where how we are operating right now, and knowing that that is a deeper reality, that is also a higher reality. So in that sense, Jesus, yeah, thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mohan जी, आप अनम्यूट कर लीजिए मोहन जी.
What you said just now, this is a noble view you expressed. Beautiful. I like it very much.
Thank you,
You
Mohan
have
ji.
answered fully almost.
Sorry.
You have answered fully.
Thank you. Thank you.
That
Thank you.
awareness word has a different meaning.
Yeah.
Yes. Level of
Yeah.
understanding.
Yes. That's wonderful. Friends, when we also speak about death, right? I was talking about death urge. So many times when we have lost a loved one, we have not been able to accept their death. And because of that, we feel like we want to die. We stop living fully because we are not able to accept somebody else's death. So this is one of the things that also we need to, life is really much bigger than we understand. When right now Mohanji said about that awareness, we think that life is so unfair. Why was my mother treated like this? How could she suffer so much? She did not deserve this. When we fight so much, we think we just understand life fully. We feel we are bigger than life, that we understand how our mother should have been treated, what should have happened with her, right? So somewhere when we are doing that, we are really not honoring the life gift that our mother has given to us. When we are really fighting it, and when we are not accepting, unconsciously we are driven towards death also. A lot of this we actually cover in family constellation. We see there how we are having this blind kind of a love towards them. So we need to accept the fate of the ones who went. We need to accept. So when Osho would do this meditation, he would say, flowing with the river. We need to really learn to flow with the river of life. He would say that we are like, when we think that we know what life is, it's like this finger saying, I know everything about this body, and this finger is trying to fight the body. The finger is too small. It's just a little part of this big body, right? The finger can never win. So when we are really trying to fight life, why is life like that? It should never have been like that. Somewhere we need to come, I mean, of course, as a stage of grieving, it does happen. We feel angry and it's okay. But knowing that we need to let it pass and we need to come towards acceptance. We need to honor the fate of whoever had to go before us. And that is what, when we accept that, we really live in their honor. We completely really enjoy this gift of life. Any more questions? And then we will do this beautiful meditation. I would like at least 15 minutes for this meditation. Is anybody scared of doing this meditation, visualizing ourselves as dead? We just acknowledge it. If we are, that's okay. We acknowledge it. Just bringing it into the light is what helps. Are we ready? Friends, in this meditation, because we are going to also visualize that we are dying, if you would like to lie down, that's okay. Okay. So if you can keep your cameras on, friends, that would be wonderful. And we spoke about death. Divya told me we are having this family constellation workshop that typically we do once a year. And when we are not able to, like I said about the blind love, right? We all are living in blind love. To move to enlightened love, this work is really a beautiful, beautiful work, which really brings into light a lot of the hidden dynamics that may be acting. So if anybody would like to join this workshop, we still have space because we couldn't get the bigger room. We have few more seats left. But in case you would like also to share with your friends, please do. So let's get ready for the workshop, my dear friends. You can close your eyes. If you would like to lie down, you can do that. Let yourself bring your awareness to your breath. The breath is in the moment. The breath is the one that's connected to the wise self. Be in touch with this life force that's coming in with every breath and going out every time you breathe out. As the breath goes out, it takes away all that is no longer needed. And as you breathe in, it brings in the life force, the prana, and all that you need. We are in this flow of life, sustained by this life force. Become present to this life force within you. Feeling the prana, feeling the breath. Present to the energy vibrating in you, pulsating in you, present in you. Honor this life force. At this point in time, visualize that you are in a river. This life force is flowing through you. And you are a part of life. River of life. Visualize this river. Feel this river. Feel yourself part of this river. Life is just like that. Changing every moment. Be in it. Observe how you are feeling. Are you able to float with it? Or are you resisting the flow of life? Are you feeling any fears? If they are there, just watch them, acknowledge them. The fears also need to be seen. Flowing with life. Or are you trying to swim against the flow, the upward direction, opposite direction? And as you're flowing with life, with this river, slowly you're going to visualize that you're coming towards the end of your life. Some point in the river where you may drown or something may happen and you are dying. Allow yourself to feel any fears. Know that as you are right now feeling it, it's going to be painless. Confront your fears. As you feel yourself then floating above the body, you may visualize, feel that some people are finding your body. Your loved ones are informed. Floating about the body. Trust the way that it's happening for you. Confront any fears that may be there. Feel what you're feeling. Are you able to feel or see who are the people who have gathered? Your loved ones and any other people. What's happening? What do you hear other people speaking? How are you feeling? Death is a wise teacher. Be there, watching. If you were given another opportunity, would you do something different? How would you spend your life? Notice, are you able to still see your loved ones, feel your loved ones? Be there with your breath in silence, integrating, letting yourself go deeper into the silence now, integrating the insights that may come with death in your awareness. Death is not the end. It is definitely not your end. Just as we sleep every night, we don't know what happens after we sleep. Right now, we may not know what happens there. Just be there in the silence, feeling what you're feeling, integrating the insights. Knowing death as the wise teacher. Allow yourself to now see if you were to learn any lessons. If you had the opportunity now of bringing those lessons to life, what different would you do? Let yourself come back to life. Bring your awareness to your breath once again, becoming aware of the life, this gift of life that you have. You are there. whether in the body or in the absence of the body, you will exist. But now that you have the body, how would you be different? Bringing the insights. How would you treat your body now with more love, care, and respect? How would you use your life forces, your energy, this opportunity, every moment, every day that you receive as a gift? This life is a gift. How would you now be different as you bring these insights to life? How would you be different with your relationships, with your loved ones, and others that you interact with? Visualize, feel yourself now applying those insights into your life. Let yourself now visualize your future self. Tomorrow, a month down the line, how are you living differently when you bring these insights to life? Each day you value the connection, you value the relationships, you value your time, your life, your body. Feeling this, anchor this in your body. Remember this. Just in about half a minute, you can start coming back. Five, four, three. Take a couple of long and deep breaths. Slowly rub your palms together, cover your eyes, slowly come back. Welcome back. Anybody would like to share their experience of the meditation? Any insights? When we share our insight, it may help other people as well, and our other friends. But yes, Mohanji.
Ma'am, your voice is so divine that it start affecting the DNA, and you get so quickly you enter in the trance, and all realization, whatever who you are, you get established in that. So this fear and all these things are very small thing. Once you establish in who you are, the entire
That's so
revelation
beautiful.
happens.
That's so beautiful. Wonderful, Mohanji. Who you really are. We go beyond our fears. That's beautiful. Thank you. Sandhya ji is saying feeling carefree and detached. Wonderful. There's a question Radhika has
Ma'am, you're stuck again. Your voice is gone. Video's frozen.
Anybody received any insights? Am I there?
Yes, ma'am, you're there. You were talking about a question that Radhika shared.
Yes. And I was saying if there's any experience anybody wants to share about the meditation, we first can take.
Can I share, Jaina here?
Yeah, Jenna. I think ma'am's internet is a little shaky.
Yeah. So I could see myself floating, and yeah, there were all people were there, and the insight which came to me is like start living without fear and do whatever I want to do, like rather than having the fear of "Arey kya hoga?" What would be the consequences of doing this? If it has come into my conscious awareness, I should try that. At least there will be some output to it, rather than not trying and going back.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Super, Jenna. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. So, friends, Radhika has shared a question before the meditation. She said, is the death pre-decided when we take birth, or is it going to happen according to our karmas? Now, when we say karmas, karmas also, so our soul has had some tendencies. When we say we've had karmas, we also have patterns. We have tendencies that we've carried, right? For example, it could be self-sabotaging patterns or patterns where we don't respect life, patterns where we really sacrifice ourselves for other people. Now, when we are born, we are coming with a little script, and of course, it may happen that there are certain that are possibilities. Say, I may go, supposing somebody is just saying, my only thing is I have to bring up my kids and then I'm done. So they may have a possibility where after, at the age of 60, maybe when the kids are married and settled, they'll say, now I don't have anything to do. Now I'm done. Right? Because if they have seen that this is what my life is, now there is a possibility. So what happens is that death urge starts taking them towards that. However, that's not a confirmed, decided thing. We have our free will. Now, if this person starts clearing their karma and starts actually seeing, feeling, experiencing life as much more than that, the biological part, having kids, yes, having a family, all that is beautiful. But then there is even more. There's a bigger reason. Once I've done with that, I can do much more. I can contribute further to the society. And once you start getting in touch with the purpose, right? Now, this time, this death will not happen. So you can actually break that death urge also. So this term, death urge, was coined by Leonard Orr, who is the founder of rebirthing work, where he says that we are moving towards death. We see death happening everywhere. we need to strengthen our life. There are masters like Babaji. We hear about Hanumanji. They are masters who are living. We can actually master the body. The point is that we live a full life and we really don't give up. We really cherish this life. So we connect to the life urge. We confront the fear of death, the death urge. We strengthen the life urge. And that's how, Radhika, we can actually go beyond those possibilities. Dr. Newton shares that he used to have this thing that in 2012, so he, whatever that he thought he wants to achieve, he had really attained that by 2012. And he had this thing that after this I will go, but then he changed. He said, now I want to live another 300 years, right? So giving that intention, saying now I'm upgrading my plan, I'm going to do much more. So you take up more responsibilities. You say, I want to fulfill more purpose in this life, being in this very body. And definitely your free will then acts.
Isn't there something like the soul path too?
Yes, so that's what we are talking about, the soul path. So we
So
come here,
in,
yes, instead.
sorry, instead of only patterns, can it be also a soul path concept
Yes.
to wipe out the past karmas, past life karmas or anything? Because life between lives, that isn't that, can that a soul decide on something? That is what I'm saying. Okay.
I didn't understand. Is there a contradiction when we say?
No, I was like, so I was just trying. So 3 or 4 things are together coming in. The past life karmas,
Okay.
the soul path, your this life karmas, and your reassessment. So the free will is, for this life, the free will is supreme. So you
Free
can
will is
just,
there. Yes.
pardon?
The free will is there. But how will the free will act? If you are carrying, the tendencies are carried in ourselves, the patterns are carried in ourselves. Now, every day, when you are actually acting out of the same past patterns, if we are being, supposing I said somebody is self-destructive, okay, so there's this girl who is self-destructive, who is suicidal, and if she is acting in ways which is still self-destructive, now it may not be that she's still now if she's trying to commit suicide, of course it's much more severe, but then what happens is when she starts seeing and she starts working on it, then even in relationship, she realizes I'm working in a self-sabotaging way. She's in a relationship, she goes and cheats. She, goes with another person. What she's doing is she's sabotaging her own relationship. Now, when we say free will, now her free will is that with her awareness, now she does not do it. So the temptation comes, she does not still give in to the temptation. And then she starts breaking that pattern. So the free will gets more and more the more you actually break the pattern. It's like a seesaw. So if you imagine right now, your patterns are so much that completely you are there, right? Now, the more you actually start shifting the weight away from here, you're not doing all of this, right? When that will start happening, that's when the free will start acting more and more. Okay.
Okay, fair enough.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Radhika. Thank you. Sarika shares one realization: speak up, stand up for myself, no pretense, no suppression. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. So thank you, friends. I am assuming no more sharings, no more questions. And that brings us to the end of today's meditation. Hoping to see you all in person. Sujata ji, yes, please.
Okay, so when you asked us to flow like a river, so I realized that, and you said, are you going uphill against the current? So I realized I was neither going uphill nor was I able to flow very well. I seem to be stuck. I got that feeling that the flow is not as smooth as it should be. And when you now see yourself dying, so immediately I could see myself visualize, and I got some insights that it's okay, I have lived my life well and everything, and if all the loved ones are around, but if I get a chance again, then I should now, as you said, take care of my body, respect my body, and now live life on my terms. That's the insight I got, that so that I can do what I have come for.
Wonderful. Wonderful. That's
That's what.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Wonderful insights.
Thank you. It
Even
was a
when we are not flowing with
beautiful
life,
meditation.
thank you. Even when we are not flowing with life, that gives us a lot of insights. Why are we not able to flow? Right? Do we really trust ourselves? Do we trust life? So just let yourself go deeper into that.
Mm.
Thank you,
Okay.
Sujata, for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zubin. Thank you. Thank you, Radhika. Thank you, friends. Thank you. And looking forward to seeing you all in person very soon as well.
Yes,